I think now AI has become this a little bit of this buzzword where we're become, super frenzied on doing an AI use case and doing an AI implementation. But Corey, what Vivek was saying, a lot of it is, taking a step back and understanding the core data behind the AI implementation. Without that data being in a data ready state, the AI implementation itself will not return any actual value. And that's how you lead to, non-productionalized AI use cases that don't leave that POC stage. When we look at this, how do we take this data into an AI ready state? We see it in 5 different phases. And that first phase starts with this data source assessment. So what does that data source assessment look like? That data source assessment basically talks about first identifying what data is core to the AI use case that we're trying to achieve itself. That data can be in various different types of structured and unstructured data. So we have to first identify where that's living across the different source systems. The next phase that's core towards this data readiness and AI implementation is assessing the quality of each of those different source systems, and then turning that into a single central location for that data, which we consider as the data warehouse. A lot of that consolidation effort has to be done because that's how we remove these data level issues like data noise and duplication of records and lack of a single source of truth. Those are the same issues that lead to problems when looking at the generative AI solution, when applying the generative AI solution on top of this data. So this data consolidation step is like the single most important step in ensuring you have an accurate Gen AI solution when it goes to production. The next phase that we look at is this data transformation. So now we have all of our data into a single place, but is there any other transformation we can do on top of that data when it's coming in various modals, right? Apart from just regular, your structured data, when you have data living in documents, when you have data living in images and videos and transcripts, making value out of that data as well, using some of the Amazon services that let us transform that data to then be operationalized by a generative AI solution. Then the last piece is after we have all of our data into a single place and after that's been transformed and extracted the metadata that's possible from these different sources, we need to really apply that business level context on top of this data. We as the business and technical stakeholders involved understand how that data relates to the generative AI solution. But the goal that we're really trying to do with this data is to have an AI solution, have a system, have the same level of context us as the stakeholders have on that data, which is why through some of the services like OpenSearch and Amazon Neptune, we're able to take the semantic understanding and bridge some of the connections and gaps between those data, right? Between multiple different records and bridge that business level understanding within that contextualized layer. Lastly is that generative AI solution aspect of it, which is that underlying foundational model that we're interacting with and how we can use this data and layer it on top of this model. Amazon has a lot of different ways, which Abhinav will touch on a little bit, of how that data can be used within a model, right? Whether that's through the pre-training of a model from scratch, or whether that's being used through RAG strategies that are offered through existing foundational models that Bedrock has to offer. That last aspect is the core aspect as to how we tie this overall data plus AI solution together.